Hey, and welcome back to yet another episode of Sandmans Tattle Time. It's been a while since we've had a video out, isn't it? What's been happening? What hasn't been happening? Well, here we go. Plandemic, and just for good measure, a little bit more plandemic, better known as COVID-19. Oh my God. Go to the Metro Centre shopping. You can walk this way. You can't walk that way, but next Friday you can walk this way and you can't walk that way. Stay a metre away from him, stay 1.5 metres away from him. The government go and change things up a couple of days later. Now you can go and talk to him, but you can have in a group of 6, and a couple of days after that you can go there and you can have a group of 30 or whatever. The mind boggles. It's just all over the place. It's unbelievable. Bridges Shopping Centre, Sunderland. Went there the other day for a bit of Christmas shopping. Me and our lass. Walk that way, you can't walk this way. Dictatorship, heads battered. So it's had a knock-on effect with the fishing. Been over the west coast, for the amount of times you can count on one hand. I think I've never had a smooth out this year, I don't think. Just due to lockdown after lockdown, can't do this, can't do that. Unbelievable. That's where we've been. That coincided with family stuff and trying to keep the kids right. Then we had that time when the kids was off school, and so, oh my God, I love my kids to bits, but by Christ, I was glad to see them go back to school, without a doubt. That's enough of the COVID-19. I'm done. You turn the telly on, it's there. Everywhere you turn, it's there. So I'm not going to talk anymore about it. So I'm going to stop right there, and we'll come straight back with some lovely, well-awaited emails from you guys. Right, so before we get into these emails, just a quick shout out to a very good friend of mine called Ron Parnell, who lives down there in Bude on the southeast coast of the UK. He's been supporting the channel a lot, been having some nice little 2 and 4s on there, sending other gifts through the post and all that. Very nice lad. He's opened my eyes to a few bits and bobs of how hard it is to get hold of certain pieces of tackle down his neck of the woods. Gobsmacked to hear that some big brands, Sakuma hooks, certain aspects of Gemini tattle shop down this way, never heard of them. Interesting tattle shop, very interesting. So anyway, big shout out to Ron. Many thanks for all your help and support through the channel, mate. Bits and bobs you've been sending us through the post, and likewise, much appreciated. You have a great Christmas. Tell you what, I was asking after her. Your card's in the post, mate. Tight lines, stay safe. That was Ron. Right, cracking on with these emails. I've got them wrote down here. I've picked 3. Believe you me, I've got 1 or 2 that's accumulated over the months during this lockdown and all the rest of it. I've picked 3. Number 1, what's my favourite go-to headlamp? We've all had several different variations of headlamps over the years, of some people like the cheapies from China and stuff like that. I've had the cheapies from China. I think you paid, what, 15 quid for some. I've seen some is 8. The way I look at it, if you've paid 15 quid for a headlamp, and you get a season out of it, money well spent, isn't it? Let's face it, if you drop it onto a rock and it smashes, it's not the end of the world. It's 15 quid or a tenner, wherever you've paid. I had a few years of bits and bobs in them, and then I went to the really lightweight ones. For me, I want something that gives us a nice little generous beam of light, an extra boost if need be, and to stand the test of time, let it last. And for me, it's looking a bit battered now, like. Is this bit the lead lenser, which is the 14R, I believe it is, H14R. I've had this coming up to 2 years. It's absolutely been fantastic. I paid a few quid for it. I think it was about 114 quid or something like that. But by Christ, what a headlamp. So, good old saying, isn't it? You get what you pay for. That was worth every single penny. It's never, ever let me down. And the day it does let me down, I'll be straight back out and buying another one. So, if you've got the pennies, lead lenser, look into them. You won't be disappointed. That's that one. Right, this is a big one. Email number 2. I need to tell you a lot about Blue Marlin mono. I wish I had £1 for every email/message that I get in regards to Blue Marlin. If people that's followed the Sandmans Tattle Time videos, we've talked about and used Blue Marlin for 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it's been, and I've used it a long time. I stick to Warren. It's never failed us. It's nice and subtle. It's lovely. It's served me well. And I'm a big believer, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I spoke to Mike quite a few times, started to struggle getting hold of it. You've probably realised this yourself, because the only places you know that you can purchase Blue Marlin from is Yuki Hooks. Mike at Yuki Hooks. I don't know anywhere else, never heard of anywhere else that sell that mono. I've heard through the grapevine from a very, very good source, he's asked us not to mention his name, I won't, that due to the pandemic, or plandemic as I like to call it, they're done. So if I've got my facts right, and I'm 99% certain I have got my facts right, Blue Marlin is no more, lads. That's not a case where you can turn and say, oh, I'm waiting stock coming in. Just so this is clear, and I mean transparent, the makers of Blue Marlin, the manufacturers of Blue Marlin is no more. It is done, finished, finito, gone. Which is a sad day, because I've got 2 1 kilo spools left of 70, and I think I'm going to have to start slating with it, because once it's gone, it's gone. That's it. Talk about an alternative. There's millions out there. Well, not millions, but there's quite a few alternatives out there. For me, it would be Maxima. Good strong guy there. Maxima. I'm talking about rig bodies, shock leaders and stuff like that. That's where I would be. If it was me, try and find a line that's very subtle, strong, subtle, got a bit of a reputation behind it. That's where I would be. Get out there and try different ones, you know. What's your opinions? Put them in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Personally, for me, I'll be sticking with Yuki from your hook snods. Rig bodies, you could bang your Yuki Invisible right up there, you know, go at the £80 mark and use that. And Maxima, there's God knows what out there, you know, there's God knows what out there. Everybody's going to have their own different opinions, but that's that. So that's it, we've covered the Blue Marlin. Sad, sad day. I would love to be proven wrong and somebody turn around and say, right, we'll pick up the reins and get this back out there. But I've got on very, very good authority. That's it. I don't want to be repeating myself, but I hope I'm coming across. That's it. Email number 3. It's a great one, this. Sandmans Tattle Time box stickers. I've got to hit on this because the amount of people that want a box sticker. Here they are here. So I've got a golden rule. I've never, ever, ever, nor will I ever will, charge anybody for a Tattle Time box sticker. All you have to do is send me a prepaid self-addressed envelope. It comes to me, I get one of these, I pop it in the envelope, it comes back to the post, comes back to you, and you slap it on your box or wherever you're going to put it. So I've had a few lads over the few weeks saying, can I have a Tattle Time sticker? And I've said exactly the same as what I've said to you. Send me an envelope and I'll send you one. Make this. Right. Just so this is clear, the envelope that you need to send is that size, which is called a C6. Now, I'm not going to show the lad's name on this or not like that, or his address, because it wouldn't be the right thing to do, but you don't need to be sending me envelopes that size for a sticker that size. It's just... C6, send one of them, prepaid envelope, and I'll do the rest. That's all you have to do. I've been sending a few out, and I'm getting a few lads coming back saying, Paul, I've sent you messages, be it loaders, blah, 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 Tattle box stickers, I haven't received them. Take it from me, lads, I have sent them. I really have. Postman Pat, time of the year, whatever. Please, 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 if you have no joy and you've heard nothing by while this calms down after New Year, get back in touch. Say, Paul, this is the crack. I asked you for some, I didn't receive them. Let's just try it again. It's a first class stamp, that's all it is. Send me a prepaid envelope with a stamp on it and I'll send you one back. You get them for now. So I apologise for that, but once it leaves my hands and I've put it in that little red box, it's up to Postman Pat from there. Right, that's the emails covered. I'm going to stop right there. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about this lovely big competition that we've got coming up just for you. Right, let's crack on with this competition. Before I go into what the competition's about, I'll show you the prize. I've been around a few friends of mine, and your other bit, Gary at Trident, a couple of other people, myself. He says, come on, dip your fingers in your pockets and tell us what you've got. So we have got a box full of God knows what. I've got stickers here. Everybody likes a tackle box sticker. Got stickers. Got some tackle boxes. Got a breakaway rig wallet. And I don't know how to get involved in this, but I'll try my best. That there is a box full of everything that Trident do. So you've got the rotors, the termalinks, the hangovers, a couple of other bits and bobs, the bait needles, the carbon bait needles. There is there he does. He's give us them. I've got loads of silicon beads and all that donated off one lad. They're in there. There's beads in here. Gemini rig tubing. Andy Rutherford has donated the full range of Yuki hooks. There they are there. I have made a dozen or so, there's more in here, of Trident pulley rigs, pulley panels. They're all in there. So a set of flies in there. Cocks and roll hooks are in here. There is about half a dozen of the Sandmans Tackle Time bait loaders, different lengths in here. Tackle Time stickers, Trident stickers, Cocks and Roll new imps that you notice they've brought out their own version of the imp, or their own colour if you like. Cocks and Roll hooks, there's the range of them. This box will grow. I don't know how much more will go into it, it'll never get less, but it will grow. As more and more little bits get donated to me, it's going to go in here. And then when it goes into here, we'll run the competition, and whoever wins the competition is going to win absolutely everything that's in this box. I mean everything. I'm just going to move this all out the way and put it on the floor, and I'll tell you what the competition is. Right. Nice and easy. Bosh. There it is. All what you have to do is smash the living life out of the subscribe channel button on Sandmans Tackle Time. Once you've done that, that'll enable you to have a guess underneath. You're entitled in this competition to one guess. The guess is, including the glass, that as a whole, everything, all them bait loaders, the glass, everything that's in, one guess in grams. How heavy is that? That's the whole thing. There it is there. Now the person who gets nearest to whatever that is, without going over, wins everything. You pay for nothing. All I want to know for you is your name and address, and that's coming to you first class signed for. Simple as that. Nice and easy. Believe you me, there's some lovely bits in that box. Like I say, it will grow. There'll be more added to it. I don't know what, because I don't know what I'm going to get donated. Wherever I do, it'll be in that box, and it's coming to the lucky winner of this. So just so this is clear, what is the combined weight of that? In grams. So went back to old school weight it used to be in ounces and stuff like that. We'll do it in grams, keep the job right. The nearest in grams. That's all it is. Nice and simple. Then once it's done there, because there was no long ones, I'll probably grab half a dozen of the long ones of these bait loaders and throw them there as well for good measure. So that's the competition done. Look forward to seeing your answers below in the comments. We'll come right back and we're going to build a bait loader just before we get into this rig. Right then, so as we were talking about the bait loaders, for those that follow us on Instagram, oh, did I mention one? Instagram now, Sandman_tackle_time. Give us a follow, please, much appreciated. But for those that are on Instagram, follow us on there, or Facebook on there, you'll notice that there's been a pretty big thing about these little fellas here, the bait loaders. I've been using them bait loaders for a long time. They work. That's it. They're not complicated. They're very easy to make. They work. I've seen very different YouTubers having to go and putting their own adaptation of what they think is right and stuff like that. Fair comment. Everybody's entitled to have a go of it. In fact, I like it. That's what it's all about, having a go. So, as I've had one or two messages about it, we made a video on this about 6 years ago, I think, 7 years ago, how to make a bait loader. Let's do it again. So you can have a go yourself. What do you need to do the job? Here I've got, I'll just take one. This here is 3.6mm, 1.6 grade stainless steel TIG welding rod. There it is there. Very similar to the 1.6mm I use on the other terminal tattle that you've seen us make over the years with Tattle Time. This is just a lot thicker. The reason for that is because when you're baiting up, personally, I had to go with one with the 1.6 stuff, very flimsy. It was all over the place. It was no good for me, especially for like if you're doing a decent cod bait or something like that. So I come up and thought, right, get something quite substantial, 3.2, 3.6mm. In this case, it's 3.6mm, and make a bait loader out of that. Bait loaders, it's down to personal preference. Some people like them short, some people like them medium. Our last couple fishing, she likes them long. Another story. And each to their own. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make one out of this and we'll talk you right the way through it. What do you need to do it? Here's the 3.6mm welding rods. There is a piece of, let's get this right now, this is 0.6mm ID inside diameter vacuum hose. Complete outside diameter is 6mm. It works out at around about £1 a metre. I will put the link to this in the description down below in the comments. Have a go yourself. You don't have to, I mean, there's about 7 metres here. I'll buy that because them bait orders there won't last long at all. The goal, and that's that. So I always try and keep, you know, a tenner's worth or so in stock for when people want it. So that's your vacuum. The other thing that you will need is these guys. I'll put it down on there, you might be able to see it a little bit better. That there is a 8mm silicone bead. It is very bouncy, squishy, just like a stopper bead. And I'll explain to you what that's for in a moment. Right, so here we have a piece of 3.6mm stainless. 140mm round nose pliers, worth of weight in gold these. Again, if you're stuck, give us a message. I'll send you the link to these. These ones are Drapper, 120mm. I've had the ones where they're long. Once they're long and you get, they're not strong enough to grip the stainless. But the short and stumpy ones work a treat. Anyway, grabbing your 316 grade and your pliers, put that into the jaws as so. You want to try and make sure it's all flush. If you look there, it is all flush. So you're there. Grip nice and tight and bend that round like so. So you've now got that. Use your normal pliers and straighten that up if needs be. That's it. Nice and straight. Now put your pliers back into the loop that you've just made. Tight grip, strong stuff this mind, and just give it a little kink back like this. That's all you need to do. You've now made that. Very simple. Once you've made that, pliers again, turn it the other way and put it back into the jaws as far as it'll go. Now what you need to do is make sure you don't want it like that or like that. You need to make sure it is nice and parallel with the jaws of the pliers. 2 minutes, I'll just double check that, make sure that's right. So as you can see, that's nice and straight. Now again, nice and tight, strong gear this, making sure everything's square or as square as you can get it, and bend that straight round. Here we go, straight round to there. You've now made that. There we go. Now then, what I normally do is I look down the shaft of it, and as I'm looking down the shaft of it, I can see that it's slightly off a little bit. So I'll put the pliers in there, I'll put them ones in there, and I'll just quickly give that a little nudge just to square it up. Give it another quick check. That is perfect. There we go. Now then, here I've got a piece of 40mm long of the vacuum that I've just, so what you do is there's your loop there, what you've just bought. Get yourself a ruler. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's roughly there where you want it. Get your pliers or wherever you're cutting it with. that's it, you're ready to roll. Now, just as we do in making rigs, you've got to apply gob oil for a bit of lubrication. Put that there. As you can see, it's starting to slip over. Now, what I always like to do is I get the end of it, just as it's starting to come through, get your pliers and push it through. You've now got that. There you go. We'll finish it off, push it up, up, and just as you start to get to the start of the loop at the top, you need to stop. You now have that. There it is right there. That's where you are now. And well, that camera's zoomed in. You now need this little guy, which is the silicon bead. Now, if I get my own way and I'm making like all the ones that's in here, I always put a little dollop of super glue just around there, just to keep that in place. I mean, it doesn't really come off anyway, but just in case you want that little added security, put it on. So anyway, you don't need to apply gob oil to this. Just find the hole and push that up. You've then got that. There you go. That is it complete. Now, just so you've heard it from the horse's mouth, there's a lot of people say, Paul, why have you put the blue tube on it? And why have you put a black bait on it? It's all to do with the bait. Because when you get a hook, if I've got a hook here, which I have, there we go. There's your hook. That's been put onto there, ready for its bait, as you can see. But roughly, if you look where the bait is, that means the bait will butt up against there. It can't go past there. So when you come to take that off, the bait will roughly be there. You haven't covered the barb of the hook or nothing like that. It's just a lovely, well presented bait. Take it from me and a lot of people out there that use them. They have tried and tested, stood the test of time. They work. That's how we make a bait water. Now, just briefly before we get cracking on with this rig, if you can't manage to get your hands on, that back keeps that weight right, on 316 grade, because it's not always the easiest stuff to get a hold of. I mean, there's stuff on eBay, but sometimes if it's low carbon, I hear this off the lads on a regular basis. While I've been out, I've bought some 316 grade off eBay. It's like putty. It's low carbon. That's why I was always buying off a company called Lingate, because we used to be able to go in, quick snip with the pliers. That tube feels great. It's, you know, it's got plenty of carbon in it. It's rigid, you know, it's nice and strong, it's sturdy. So in a way, when you're buying stuff off eBay, you're running the gauntlet. Has it got much carbon in it? Has it not got much carbon in it? Because at the end of the day, what we're using it for is not really what it's designed for. It's a filler rod. It's a TIG welding filler rod, but we're using it to make tackle out of it. Just due to the fact that it's stainless and it's not going to rust, and it's very robust. But I remember going back quite a few years, I come across this stuff in the pound shop, and this is metal skewers for a barbecue. There they are there. Roughly the same diameter. I'll just pop one out so you can see it. So there it is. It's roughly the same diameter. You've already got a spike on one end, which is what you would have to do in the bait was. I just put them around a grinder and all that and put the spike onto it. So you've got that. So what I would do is just chop off that loop and then do it yourself. So if you can't get a hold, these are not stainless, mind. These are not stainless, as far as I can gather. So the chances are it will rust at some point. But I mean, you know, there's about, what, 20 lengths in there out the pound shop. So, you know, get a couple of sessions out and throw them away or whatever, or give them a wipe down. See how long you get out of one. They are pretty sturdy, but these are 3.2 mil, which is fine. If I can't get 3.6, I will go for 3.2 when it comes to bait loaders. On very, very light baits, stuff like that, very nice little tiny crab baits or anything like that, I will go down to the 1.6 mil bait loader if I have. But the majority of the stuff that I use, the 3.2/3.6 mil stainless, does the job, no problem whatsoever. Stick to what you know, that's the way it comes. Right, let's have a quick look at my list. Right then, we've covered everything. So let's stop the video and let's come back with Trident Tackling Developments new kicker, and let's get it shoved onto a rig. Straight back. Right then, so let's get down to the nitty gritty and get this rig built. What are we going to do? Trident, Gary at Trident, is on the verge of launching. He's actually got about 4 or 5 new products, but I'm sworn to secrecy on 4 of them. For now, please keep in mind, right, I need to hear on this before we do this rig. He's a one-man band. He's on his own. And the demand is unreal. Everybody wants everything yesterday. I'm sworn to secrecy on, I say comments on stuff like that, he's trying this. I'm sworn to secrecy on a lot of things. I just shut up. I never comment, just shut up. Because I don't want people, nor does Gary, ringing him saying, oh, when's this coming out, when's that coming, when he's not quite ready. The kicker is virtually there. It's just, he's playing catch up all the time with demand, with what people want now. He's scared to bring new product out. He's got to try and get stock up so to make demand, because when I do a video on it or whatever and it goes out there, people just swamp and stuff like that. Please, please, please be patient. He's a one-man band. He's on his own. There's nobody else there. Just Gary, right? So please just give him a little bit of space. He will catch up. Keep in mind, every time you ring him, if you've got his number out like that, you contact him out at, while he's talking to you on a phone, he's not making gear. That's as simple as it. Reminds us of Lee at Ziplex. He's a one-man band in a way. I think he's got somebody else working for him, but he's mainly a one-man band. You know, he's busy. So is Gary. Very, very busy. He sent us a little bit of a message from you to give you these. There will be no post for the first week in January. No post at all from Trident for the first week in January. The reason for this is that stock replenishment. So he's going to revive his stocks. And machine, I think there's 2 machines going in for maintenance. So just so this is clear, there will be no post from Trident for the first week of January. None at all. Please keep that in mind. Spread the word, people. Much appreciated. Gary sends his thanks for your patience and your custom. Absolutely fantastic. From him, from the bottom of his heart, thank you very much. Right, that's that out of the way. So, he's on the verge of launching a new piece of terminal tattle called the Kicker. I've seen a few people have already had it out there on test. I've had one for a while, a long while, but I haven't been able to see anything. It's not for everybody. Some people like it, some people won't. If you don't like it, scroll past it, and that's that. You know, I say things on a daily basis on Facebook that I dislike and stuff like that. Didn't like it, scroll past it. There's no rocket science in it. But for those that are interested in it, here it is here. There you go. This here is called the Trident Kicker. It will rival the Imp. It's very, very similar to the Imp. Now what we've got here is a Cetal construction. I know I can hear certain people now saying, oh, yet more plastic in the ocean and all that. But I know, I hear you, I understand what you're saying. The way this works is that unclips, your lead clips on, and that clips back in. And then you can use a termalink if you like, and clip that onto there and use that as it is. Now, just so this is again clear, I've read a few comments where people are saying, oh, he's being clever there, mind, you've got to buy his termalink so it clicks onto stuff like that. Crock of shite. Neither. You can get, whether it's the Kicker, the rotor, all the different bits and bobs that Trident make, you do not, and I emphasise that, you do not have to buy the termalink. There it is there. You do not have to buy the termalink. You can have a fast link and clip it onto there. You can do certain things and clip it onto there. But you do not have to use the termalink. Personally, I do. They go well together, they look well together, they work well together, they're designed to work together. Where's the problem? The 8 pence each. It's not the end of the world. But I just wanted out there that for certain people who think that you have got to use the termalink with that, no you don't. No way. Personally I would, that's my opinion, but there's people out there that think that you've got to, you don't. Anyway, so, as we've got the Kicker, I thought, right, what can we do with it? We are going to incorporate this into a drop down wishbone rig. Rig I've never made on Tattle Time before, so let's give it a whirl and see how this goes. And then guess what we're going to do after that? We're going to have a little trip up to British Airways just before Christmas, get it out there, and hopefully have a good session on the There's been some good codling up there recently, some good size flounder up there, and other little bits of bobs, whiting and that. It's going to have a nice chilled out session of British Airways Newcastle upon Tyne with this rig, showing you it all working, and with a bit of luck, touch wood, we'll get some fish on it. Right, let's crack on and make this rig. Right, let's crack on with this rig. What do you need to make it? Here I've got a length of 70 pound blue Marlin mono. I've got the kicker, I've got Thermalinks, I've got a SRT spring which goes alongside the Trident hangover. I've got various crimps, different sizes. You know, I'm a big fan of the crimp at the moment. It seems to be working really, really well for me on the rig bodies. I'm not a massive fan of it on hook snuds yet. The trust's not there with it yet. I'm working on little bits and bobs, little tweaks here and there, but for the time being, I'm going to stick with it just on my rig bodies, neat and tidy. I love it. So that's there. Right, let's get cracking on. Get your length of blue Marlin mono or mono of your choice. Nip that between your finger and thumb. Pull that all the way out. Now normally I will go right the way to the tip of here. I'm trying to shorten this down a little bit, mainly for video purposes. So I've pulled my arm right the way out and I want to go to the base, the top of my armpit, which is roughly there. Right, when you're cutting your mono, for those that's never heard me say this before, do not cut that on a 90-degree angle, like so. Cut it on a 45-degree angle, like so. The reason for this, for those that's never heard me say it, is that when you come to push that through a crimp, it will find its way through better because it's pointed rather than it being flat, as you're about to see. So, we now get a crimp, like so. I'm going to put my spectaculars on, so I can see. Right, we're going to get a Thermalink, push that through so you know there. And put the two together like so. Now I'm always getting a pair of pliers to make that oval because I like this to be tight. And as you can see, I've now got to the other side, because I've made that oval a little bit, the mono, so it's coming out the same way as it's went in. Now these crimps that I'm using here are not designed to have mono going through them both ways. They'll probably just crimp on them one way, but because I'm massive on safety and strength, I've just made that oval to accommodate two lengths, if you like, of 70 pound blue Marlin mono. So what we'll do now is we'll just push that up, so you've now ended up with that. I'm now going to get my crimp. These here, for those that's never seen them, they're around 15, some 9.99, 15 quid on eBay. Now I was always a fan of the crimps and all that, and if you know, if I get a crimp right now, and you get that and you go, oh, that's lovely, and I'll crimp that there and I'll crimp that there. Now if you look at that carefully, all what you've done is you've squeezed, boom, you've just squeezed it there. Now these guys are in a league of their own. Watch the jaws on this. See that? The crimp 4 ways at once. So if I get a crimp now, put it in, as you can see, and I crimp that, there it is there. So on this little guy here, I don't know if the camera's picking this up, I hope it is, but on this little guy here, we've crimped it twice, flattened it, and it is what it is. But this little fella here is a lot more neat and tidy, and it's crimped on 4 sides rather than just top and bottom. Now I must say, to date, I have used these a lot. Till I'm getting on a bit, mind now. Glasses now, when I'm reading and stuff like that, I can't believe it. The lad says, don't go to the opticians and get some glasses dinner date. I says, why not? I need them, I can't see for shit. He says, you'll shit yourself when you see where you've married. I said, oh! The gaffer will kill us when she is that one. But anyway, it's another story. So, it crimps 4 ways, and I must say, to date, it's never, ever, ever failed on rig bodies. I'm not fully trusted on the old Yuki Invisible. I've had it slip a couple of times, and if I was to lose a decent hound, rare fish, whatever, I wouldn't be a happy chappy, I'll tell you that much. So I'm sticking with rig bodies at the moment, and touch wood, it has never failed to date. Neat, tidy, fantastic idea. I still use the knots. Your good old knot there that you've seen us use many a time. But crimps, neat and tidy. Right then, so let's crack on. Let's get this made. Right then, so here we've got, just push them to one side, because we're done. We've got the crimp, lines going through the Termalink, as you can see. It can be any link of your choice. I'm just using a Termalink here. Termalink goes through that hole, like so. And then just crimp that, not tighten it up yet, just grip it. Grip that through and pull that tight a little bit, and then nice and solid. That's the way I like it. You then end up with that. And again, what I like to do is, there's a little tag end there. I've had, where I've made rigs in the past where I've actually burnt the end of that, so it's like been a little blob, so it couldn't pull back through, just for an added piece of security. But believe you me, that's all I do. And then, that's a piece of 316 1.6mm stainless. I put that through there, I wrap that there, and I pull, just for peace of mind. And then once I've done that, I mean, there's the lines of my hand, I've pulled on that, and I can still see the mono sticking out the other side. It is going nowhere. I'm not being bigger or nothing like that. I can put a lead out there. I'm not the biggest caster in the world, far from it, but I can put a lead out there, and I can belt a lead, and touch wood, I've never ever had them failed. I know some other lads that have used the crimp, some big lump lads that can pour a lead a lot further than me. Never failed. So that's that. Anyway, so now that we've done that, we're now going to put some other bits and bobs on this rig. So now that we've done, tell you what we'll do, we'll plunk that on there so I know which end it is, like so. So we've put the kicker on. So that's where we are, kicker onto your Termalink. Right, we'll leave that where it is for now. Right then, so we are now going to go back. These are a different size crimp. Again, these you could not put 70-pound blue Marlin through. See, there's my little cup up there. I haven't got a 45-degree angle cut on that, but I have now. These ones here, as you can see, there's a huge difference. There you go. You could not put 70-pound blue Marlin through there twice. It ain't happening. Don't even think about it. Blah, blah, whatever. So with this stuff, you can go through just the once. So you've got that. Right, so we've got a crimp. These are any fish anywhere beads. If you can find these anywhere, buy them. Don't think about it, just buy them. They're like hen's teeth to get a hold of. And then, as you know, I am a huge fan of the 100-pound. Can you believe that? That little guy there, that little fella there, if I put that near a ruler, you can get some sort of idea. It's about 12mm long, something like that. 100-pound braking strain in that. Called power swivels for those that's never heard of them. I use nothing else. They are amazing. Again, safety first, people. Safety first. Right then, pop that there, and we will pop on one more crimp just to finish that off. And now we will end up looking like so. There you go. Right, we'll just leave that as is for now. And what we're going to do is go to the other end, and again, we're going to put on another crimp. This time we're going to put on a SRT spring, which comes in the kit if you buy Tridents hangover, which is what I've got in my hand now. Put on the hangover, and then to top that off, we're going to put on another crimp. And there are some lads that like to put, I'll do it in this case just so they can see, they like to put a little bead at the top of it, so the hangover clip itself is not directly up against the crimp, so they then end up with that. That's ready to rock. What we'll do now is just push that down out of the way, get one of the larger crimps, because we're now going to finish the rig, close the rig body off, and now we're going to get, this here is a 295-pound brake and strain power swivel. There's the 100-pound one, that little fella there. That one there's 100-pound, that's 295. Now, I've had some comments off lads saying, Paul, why are you using a swivel of a £295 braking strain? Are you fishing for sharks or something? Great whites? No, it's just I find it easy to handle rather than that. I mean, let's face it, if that's a £100 braking strain, you could put that on the end of your shocker and you could braid out and you'd have no problem. It wouldn't snap because it's a £100 braking strain. You're only using £70 braking strain shocker. It's just size, it's something I can get a hold of pretty easy. So that's where I am with that. Anyway, so repeat like you've just done with the terminal link at the other end. Put your crimp on. Put your power swivel. You don't have to use the power swivels if you don't want to. It's just a little bit of advice from me. That's where I would be. If your local tackle shop does not sell them, I will put a link to Andy Rutherford's shop down below. He does mail order, so just because you're not in the Sunderland area, get in touch with him. Andy Rutherford's or rutherfordsangling.co.uk, I think it is. So I'll put the link in the comments below, and I know for a fact he'll help you out if he can. Right, so there's the power swivel crimp. It's just like a repeat of the terminal link at the other end. Pop that through. Again, we're just repeating what we did, like I just said, with a terminal link. Pull that tight and crimp down. Boom. There we are now. That's where you should be now. So again, you've got your tag end coming out. It's gone in the same way as it's gone out. We will then trim off that little tag end. There we go. And as I did with the terminal link on the other end, this is just for my peace of mind. It really is. I mean, I got into that there, and I don't know how good this camera's picking it up, but I can still see the tag end coming out of there. Believe you me, people, it's going nowhere. It's as simple as that. Anyway, once you've done that much, that's where you should be now. Now what we're going to do now is, where we've got the crimps there ready, let's get these in position. So we're grabbing, let's forget about the swivel at the bottom end of the rig. Just keep in mind, it's very similar to an up and over the rig, this. I always go maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches down from the swivel. The whole bundle needed to put this together. So you've got your crimp, your SRT spring, hangover, Tridents hangover in this case, a little bead and another crimp. So what we can do is, I've kept all of that one at the bottom. There you go. Now when you come to put this together, do not have it bendy like that. Keep it nice and straight as possible, like roughly there. That's all you want to do, and crimp that down. Boom. Let go of that end and then force everything through the hole. It all fits through the hole. You can see it. I'm doing it no problem. And then get the crimp at the other end, like so, just so it's there like that. Don't know how good that camera's picking, but hopefully it's just there. Now what we're going to do is, you want it just there. You do not want to compress the string. Don't have it there. Don't have it there. Just have it where it's all, just so it's touching. Just about there. And crimp. You have now got that. And I'll tell you the reason I like that. Look at how neat and tidy that is. It's streamlined, ready to rock. Very strong. It's lovely. Brilliant. Right, let's go to the other end. Let's move that spare swivel. And all what we're going to do here, I'll have to take off the kicker for this. All we're going to do here is repeat what we've done at the other end with the crimps. But we haven't got an SRT spring here. All we've got is the power swivel and the crimps and the 2 little beads. So again, hold that there. That's roughly where I want it. Some people, I mean, just before I crimp this, some people like to have where it's, you know, a good 10 inches up the line or so, you know, as what I mean. Some people like it right on the bottom, like there. It's personal preference, you know. But here, what's that? 4 inches. Try it there. I know for a fact it works, because I've had fish on this already. So, right, so here we go. Just get that touching. There we go. And crimp. Nice and tight. Push the swivel and all that through to the other side. To there. That's all you're doing. As soon as it butts up, you're there. crimp. Nice and tight. Pull that back through. There you have it. If I put them two together, it's a bit fidgety like, but bear with us. Let's see if I can get this done. Look at how neat and tidy that is. Now, I know it's each to their own, but you get some people that come out. I'm not having a dig at them. I'm not having a dig at them at all. But they'll come out with these. They're like JCB whale nuts, 8mm beads. If you have a look, they'll get 2 8mm beads and a swivel in between it. I mean, I don't have to tell you what that resembles. And then they're banging it out now, and I'm thinking, bloody hell, look at the size of that compared to what you can have. I mean, hey, if it works for you and it's been successful, fine. If it works for you, crack on. But not for me. I like things small, compact, solid, tight, a little bit aerodynamic, maybe help you out with a little bit more distance. Just my opinion. But if that works for you, all well and good. Right then, so we have done the rig body of this drop down Wishbone rig. What we're going to do now is we are going to get a length of, in this case, it's £60 Yuki Invisible. So put the gegs back on. This is where you're going to see my good old knot. I see more and more people using this on a day-to-day basis, which is great. Right, we're going down to where the swivel's located at the bottom end of the rig. So keep in mind, just so I'll put it on so there's no confusion. That's the kicker that's going to go on. That's the bottom of the rig. Get your line, pop that through, and pull that through maybe, what, 4, 5, 6 inches, whatever. 1, 2, 3. Put that through the hole at the bottom. Maintain that loop. It's imperative that you maintain that loop. Then repeat. 1, 2, 3. So you now end up with that. Apply gob oil or spit. Get your little pliers and that so you can keep a hold of that swivel and just slide that down. There we go. You now end up with that. I hope the camera's with this being clear. Now this Yuki Invisible at the northeast of England isn't the easiest stuff to get a hold of if I'm right. But if you can get a hold of it, buy it. Tell you all us off Sandy, you want 3 mile of it. Because I'm telling you now, it's cracking stuff. Let's go back to this tag end. Let's trim it off. Maybe he's leaving a mil or 2 sticking out. So you've now ended up with that. Now, just so I can hold this, I'm going to put a lid onto this kicker. Like so. So I can grip a hold of it. That's where we are now. Right, so now that we've got that, I'm now going to hold the rig body and the hook snood in between your finger and your thumb, as you can see I'm doing, and pull that through, keeping them together, keeping them together, keeping them together, all the way up till you get to your hangover, if that's your clip of choice. Now put that into position like so, as you can see I'm doing. And then we're going to pull that the way and work that back down so we can get the correct length. And then I look at that. Great. Now what I always do is just above that, I'll cut it and then you'll see what I mean. Right, so what I've done is, if I just lay this back out again, I didn't explain that very well there, so I'll try and explain it now. Right, so what we're going to do is, that roughly comes down. So if you look, I've cut that in line with the swivel. You don't want it to go to the kicker at the bottom, because this is now going to branch off into 2 legs, giving you the wishbone, so to speak. Right, let's put that to one side and let's get cracking on with the wishbone bit itself. Right, so on the end of this, we are now going to get, this is a £100 brake and strain power swivel. Notice I'm not using crimps on this bit. This is the hook stud end. Again, pull that through 4 inches, so like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we have it. Now what I'll do is apply gob oil again. Put that through my little bar, like so, and send that home. There we have it. Right, here we go. You now end up with that. What we'll do now is I will trim off that tag end. And that's where you are now. You're just simply there. Now, while the camera's still zoomed in, I'm just cutting myself a length of the hook stud again. Here it is here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to simply put that through that hook. This is the way I always, through the loop of the swivel. This is the way I always do it. And then match the two ends up as I'm trying to do here. There we have it. There's your two ends. Right then. Now then, what we need to do now is get a bead. Another bead on the other one, so you've got, now for me, the smaller the bead the better. These are little 4mm oval beads, and if you look, that's the way they'll look on the bottom of the rig, like so. Now once you were there, you can then get 2 little crimps to hold them beads in place. So there's one on one side, and there's the other on the other side. Right then, so we move that down, making sure everything still adds up, which it does. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's where you should be right now. Now you can't use your crimper on this one, but all what them crimps is doing is keeping them beads in place. So that's there. So a little nip there, a little nip there, and pull that tight to there, like so, on the other leg. Little nip there, little nip there. You now have that. There you have it. Now then, this is where you've got to get your measurements right, because it can go pear-shaped very quickly if you don't get your measurements right here. So I've got the whole rig. I'm now putting the rig body back into the hangover. Pull that tight, and we're going to come back down, as you can see, and let that go there. Now what I'm trying to do is get the length for the hooks. Now the way I always do it is, that's right there, and I always stop. I'll let that go there so the camera can zoom in. I always cut it just at the bottom of the terminaling. So there we have it there, just at the bottom. Snip. Get rid of that excess. And that's where you are right now. Now what we'll do is, I will get a couple of hooks. Actually, I'll use 2 of them, if I can just grab them. Right. I'm just sorting a couple of hooks out there, that's all. I was actually ill prepared there, I forgot to put them in front of us, so I'm not going to make any excuses. Right, here I've got a couple of hooks off a rig that I made previous. The reason I want to use these hooks as well, if you notice, they haven't got the barbs, have been cut off for safety reasons. The reason I do that is when so I can't stab myself. I've done that once or twice. Tickles a bit. Right then, so we're now going to go to the other end of, let's get rid of all of that so you can see properly. Right, so here we are at the Wishbone end of the rig, and we're looking at that. We're pulling them two together like so. Yep, the butt look lovely, they're the same length. Yep, everything's checking out. Right, so again, what I like to do on these is get 2 small crimps first. So we'll put 1 crimp on each leg. There's 1 on. There's the second one on. So that's all you've done, is you've just put 2 crimps on. Then you want to follow on with a couple of beads. Beads of your choice. Some people like red ones, some people like orange ones, whatever works for you. Put them on, followed by a couple. Now these ones now I'm putting on are 5mm beads. It's probably the biggest bead that you'll see me use throughout my fishing. There you go. Right then, so if I put them two together and put them down, you can see where I am. Here we go. So it's just identical on each, because there's a hook going on each one of them. That's where we are, right there. Right, put them to the top end out the way for the time being, and attach using the same knot as what you've just seen us do. 1, 2, 3. I'm only going to go 2 this. I'm going to go 3 and 2 actually. Like so. Right, we'll just tuck that up, because my bead has come off the other side of that one. Right, I'll leave that as is because my beads come off the other one, so I'll go back to that one and finish it off. Now what I'm going to do with this one, see, everything's alive. Everything's come to life. Right, here's guys, get over there. Right, and we're going to repeat that knot through here. And we'll have it 1, 2, 3 through the bottom. 1, 2. There we have it. Right, we'll get my pliers. Apply gob oil. We'll send that one home. There we go, lovely, neat and tidy. Trim off that tag end. Go to the other side. And repeat. I slipped with one of these little hooks many moons ago, and it went straight into the hand there. Oh, I was peeling onions, alright. My God. I tickled a bit. Right then, anyway, we have now, at this stage, so if I get them 2 hooks together, there we have it. Move them down. And there we are there, right there. And then what I'll do is, I always like to come back 1 inch or so, roughly there, just with the crimps. Nip, 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 nip. And there we'll have it. Virtually identical. I know some people that change them, they put different colours on either side, and I know people that put a lot more than 2 beads on. Personal preference, whatever works. Now then, crunch time. Hopefully I've done my maths and this is all going to come together just nice. Hopefully. Here we go. Hook snood coming up. There we go, lovely. Right, let's get this right so it's not tangled. Right, hook snood coming up, goes into the hangover. And you'll notice that this kicker will accommodate, I've already done it, 2 small hooks. Gary tells me this will accommodate over an 8-0 hook, maybe it's a little bit bigger. But anyway, there it is, 2 hooks in there. I've actually already used this rig with 2. I mean, you couldn't put a massive bait in there and blast, but it wasn't designed to be blasted a long way. It's for maybe short range and stuff like that. But there it is. As soon as that hits the water, bubble pops off, lead hits the floor, they've dropped off the hangover, and then they'll sit in the current somewhere out the way. Nice and easy and done. It is a little bit of a fidgety rig to make, but persevere, have a little bit play about with it. You know, it's better sit in front of the telly while she's watching EastEnders, and that's that. Well, like I say, let's not stop it here. Let's get up there, British Airways, Newcastle upon Tyne, or maybe it's the schooner. Let's put this to test and see what we can come up with. So, let's crack on. I'll see you up the river. Well then chaps, here we are, Newcastle upon Tyne. Little market here, better known to the locals as British Airways. So, as you saw back on the table, we made the rig, put it all together, and I said we'll come up here and try it out. Here we are. So, I've got my hands on some very nice frozen blacks, some very nice strips of mackerel. I'm hearing good reports that there's some good flounders up here, some good codling, odd whiting, bits and bobs. It's got to be better than sitting in the house listening to her all night and watching EastEnders and Emmerdale Farm or wherever it is that they're putting it on. I'm at the point listening to the pandemic all night. Oh my god. So here we are, British Airways. But just before we put a rod out there, I went to see a good friend of mine the other day called Andy Rutherford. And Andy says that he's been getting his hands quite a while ago on one of these new Yuki Sublimes. Would I like to try it? I says, I'm hearing nothing but good things about these at the moment. I'd love to try it. There it is. Go and take it up there. British Airways, see what you think. Like I say, bite detection, I'm hearing nothing but good things about these rods. Never used one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press record on the camcorder. You see it getting casted out. Hopefully you'll get it seen playing some fish, and hopefully see some bite detection on it. Make your own minds up. But I must say, for 299 quid, which is what they're retailing for, I'm hearing some very, very positive things about them. I must say, very positive things. The one that Andy's got here, I believe, is one of the very first ones that got built. His is actually in the magazine. Again, I'll show you in a minute. I've got the magazine with us. And apparently the rest of them have gone off the way Andy got this one built. From what I've been told, the rep couldn't see him with a blank Yuki Sublime. Had a look at it. Yes, I would like to have a look at it, blah blah blah. Andy got his head together with his rod builder, and they come up with the finished product, which is what I'm going to use tonight. The rep comes back to see Andy. Andy shows them the rod, and the rep's like, where have you get this done? Blah blah blah. I want this rod. Can I buy this rod? How much is it? Him and the rep does a deal. He buys the rod back. And if I've got my facts right, every Yuki Sublime that comes built now is built off this original prototype, if you like. So there you have it. That's the story behind it. So Andy was telling us. Anyway, I'm going to stop in a bit. Let's get some gear out. Get it out there. It's starting to get a little bit dark. And with a barrel up, we'll get into some fish. It's not so warm, so let me keep my hat on. Right, straight back. Let's get into some action. Right, so I've got the rig right in front of us. We'll talk you through it. Talk you through how to use these bait loaders as well for those that's never seen it. And we'll get it slapped onto that Yuki Sublime and get it out there and hopefully get into some fish. Right, and so the rig itself. Here I've got a 5 1/4 ounce Yuki hooks sinker. There's the kicker itself, what we're all talking about. Just so you know that they're going to be £2.20 for 12 when they come out. It's going to be around about mid-January. So please don't bombard them with phone calls, just be patient. You'll hear about it probably on Tattle Time. There's a couple of other lads that'll have it as well. Somewhere around mid-January, £2.20 for 12. Cheap as chips. There it is there. And onto there, say I've got it going on to a Thermalink. Right then. So let's say this is the rig that we made last night at the table. And there is the 2 hooks. Right then. So here we go. I'll show you how to bait them up the way I do it. Right. Got some lovely juicy frozen blacks here. So what we'll do is put that up onto the hook. Now what I'm doing here, roughly halfway, then stop there, like so. Get your bait loader. For those that's never seen us use these before, there's your hook. Put the hook into the hook part of the bait loader, like so. Pull that tight, like that. You can wrap that round if you like. You can lie it on at the side of it, whatever your preference. There you go, just like that. Get your cotton, just bind it on. I like to go in a crisscross action. I'm sure people have got their own different ways of doing it. Right, snap your cotton off, and all what you're doing now is just get hold of the hook and take it off the hook part of the bait loader and withdraw the bait loader. You now end up with that. Very easy, very neat and tidy. All you need to do now, a little piece of mackerel strip on the end of that. There you have it. Ready to rock. So again, I'll repeat that, because as you know, this is a wishbone rig, so there's obviously two hooks. Again, so we're going to go through roughly half of the worm. There you have it there. Again, get your bait loader onto there. You can wrap it round like you see, you can put it alongside of it. People have got their own different ways of doing it. If it works for you, then stick with it. You know, some of them Innova bait load thread machines, wherever they're called, they are absolutely brilliant. Them $9.99 I think I paid for it. Best $9.99 I've spent in a long time. Right, again, take your hook, take it off the hook of the bait loader, and just withdraw it. Once again, in this case I'm using mackerel, just a nice little slither. There you have it. There's one. I'll get the other one once I find it. And there's the second one. Right, so I'll pause it right there, get this slapped onto the rod and get it blasted out. Right, so the way this rig works, there is your hangover drop down pulley if you're not a fan of the Tridents stuff. If you are, that just simply goes into there like so, and this is where the kicker comes into it. There's the kicker there. Like I said, I've done this before. It accommodates two small hooks. I think Gary said anywhere up, I'm sure he said 8 or. Right, there we have it. Right, just wipe it on there. Hopefully I'll turn my light off so you can see. There you go, both in situ, no problems whatsoever. I'm now going to go and cast that out and hopefully get some flounder on it. This rod, by the way, is the Yuki Sublime. Andy Rutherford's personal one. You might want to pop it there, dear. You got it? Like the feel of that, like. Oh yes. I don't know if you got the tip action in there, but that felt very nice, that, like, it really did. So, we're a bite on the other rod, let's see if there's anything on it. Can you bite that? Mm. each, mate. One of each. Good 2 out flapper. So, got a nice flounder on the bottom. With a small little tummy on the bottom one of that. Turn that off. So, got one on the other rig now. Happy days. Not the biggest, far from it, but nice little Tommy. I want to get him back quickly. Not a bad little flounder there, just size. Crap. Save the blank. Let's get up and get some more. tapping away, but it's not giving us anything substantial, you know. You can do better than that. It's just gonna kill me. I could have sworn I've just thrown these two back. Again, not the biggest, but the sport's there. What do you think of my new Christmas present, people? Off the Bairns, they bought us the new Spinfisher 7500 LC. Very nice. Very nice. So there's the other one going now. So there we have it, a little bit better stump than the other one that we had. Right, let's get them released. Yeah, I'll give you on, mate. So what we'll do is, well, it's a little bit quiet, I'll show you this Yuki Sublime. Let's have a little chat about it. There we go, bear with us. Let's have a go. Diddly. So here it is, Yuki Sublime. Get that to focus. So 4.2 meters or 14 foot. This one's built with Fuji K guides. I do believe that they come in two lengths. I'm sure one's around 15 foot and this one's the 14 foot version. Both retailing for around about £299 built, I believe. On the bottom of this little fella today I've got Penn Spinfisher 7500 LC. And the other rod I'm using, as if you didn't know, Ziplex Evolution CT. Again, built with stainless steel K guides. I built this one myself quite some time ago. And just like the other, it's also paired up with a Penn Spinfisher 7500 LC. Got my fishing shelter up there because we're having a little bit of rain earlier on. And I thought, better put the shelter up because I don't want to get wet. Size of that little fella. Didn't half rattle the tip, nor even size.
Silly me. Give me a little phone there. I'm gonna get a picture of it, that's all. No, that's a cracking flounder. And that was on the Wishbone dropper rig. Brilliant. Brilliant. Small bite. So I'll have some luck with this one. This one's got it. Right now, right? Cool. Well then, just to finish the night off, I'll tell you hope this in a minute. Not a bad stump little flounder there. Give a cracking bite. So, can't complain. Right, let's get this hook out and get him thrown back. Right, well, that's the end of that session. And here we are, just walking up the lads there now, been down the bottom and just have a look about. Good session, plenty flounders, plenty whiteling, few tommies, plenty sport. That's what it's all about, plenty sport. The Yuki Sublime was very sublime. I enjoyed using it. Fantastic bite detection, loaded up very easy, went out there, oh, effortless. Felt like more of a J-curve rod than dynamic. What is it called? Parabolic action. Very nice rod. Loved it a bit. Well worth the money. It really is. If you're interested in one of these rods, please get in touch with Andy Rutherford at Rutherford's Angling, or if he's not close enough for you and you're over the west side, try Shane Russell at Rigcraft. Both of these lads, I promise you now, will more than look after you. Two cracking lads, believe you me. I will leave the links to their shops down below in the comments. So if you want to get in touch with them, I think they both do mail order. I'm not sure about Andy might come to think of rods. I think he's looking into it. Give the lad a ring, and talk to him about it, and he'll tell you better than what I can. But I know for a fact that Shane Russell will definitely post out to you. But he's in Morecambe, if that's any help, for those that's never heard of Rickcraft. Anyway, this is the end of another Sandmans Tackle Time, the end of another year. You take care out there, be safe, Merry Christmas from myself and all the admin team here at Sandmans Tackle Time, tight lines, and all the best for 2021. See you later.